Hello, this is Chriso, and I'm here for part 21 of the Human Journal. I call this journal Family Affair. Yes, few of my clips recently, all through the month, I comment about family structures and stuff like that, and, excuse me. And then I did a clip on marriage. Humans are not meant to get married, and I did talk about a little bit of that on the parent topic on that, but now in this journal I want to express fully about my idea about parenting, and then how it impacts us, the structure that we all in spirit create. The idea of parents or family is just another idea in life. So it's all about experience. Everything in life is an experience. But I always express that in all my clips. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about me, but I'm gonna give some generalized examples, because there's so many cases when it comes to family situations. Not everything this may not apply to everybody, but I just wanted to give out the best examples I could think of in this journal. And things that I do generalize, I hope anybody that's listening that you could connect to what I'm saying. I am going to talk about some ideas, and it's going to be some recap on in all my journal clips. And I'm going to start off. Well, actually, before I start off, I just need to tell everybody up front, I'm not a parent, okay? I don't have any kids. So I do hope that any of you that decide to listen to my clip, to this particular part, I do hope that you are open, okay? Some people are very prideful when it comes to this particular topic. Because you're not a parent, you have nothing to show for or some wisdom. So I will say I do have wisdom, regardless that I'm not a parent. I am consciousness, just like everybody else. So again, if you decide to be open and stick around, you will basically be inspired to the things what I'm about to share. Okay, now I'm going to start. All right, family. Wow. So many different situations in family. So many different situations. Some of the things I could think of. Okay? Obligation. Okay? You have obligation that plays a big, big factor in family situations. Oh, yeah. Anything from when it comes to money, business, or taking care of situations within the family or in the household. Yeah. Obligations are a big, big factor in a family situation, in a family structure. And it doesn't matter what culture you're from. Okay? Even though different cultures have a little different approach, okay, but there is a common ground to a lot of family structure throughout from every culture to culture. So I got obligation, fear. Yes, fear plays a big role. Okay? It does. We somehow, and this is interesting, somehow we get love tangled up with obligation and fear. Okay? It's very weird. It's like you wonder, how are you going to mix fear and obligation with love? And I'm going to explain very, very briefly. What else you got? Competition. Competition in family. Oh yeah. Plays another big role. You got this one of the common situations. As an example, you ever got the let's say if you have brothers and sisters, right? I hear this from a lot of people too, that not everybody, but some people would say, yeah, let's say if you're the younger sibling, okay? For an example, your father and mother treat your older brother or older sister differently, more loving, more connected. And then you feel like, hey, what's going on? And then before you know, it's a competition there. And then before you know, after that, it's the situation that siblings don't get along. You ask yourself this question, a deeper question. Why is it like that? A good number of you will accept that. You think that's just part of growing pains, or that's just normal. Two brothers fighting and two sisters are not liking each other. That's just normal. That's just part of life. Okay, if that's what you feel, and that's a belief system altogether right there. So yeah, these different things I'm talking about so far are belief systems, okay, that we create, and also at the same time, it's all about experience. Even the most twisted, crazy things go on in the household. It's all about choices that we make. Which belief system that you're going to hold up. And what else you got? You got tradition. Oh yeah, tradition. Tradition plays a big role in family. Oh yeah. Yeah. You got that. You got domestic violence, from verbal abuse, physical abuse, all kinds of stuff. But again, I'm going to give out some examples, okay? I'm not going to cover it. There are a ton of cases when it comes to family situations. All right, tons of cases. I'm just going to give some examples I can think of, and then at the same time, I'm going to generalize some things. So, all right. So yeah, we got competition, we got obligation, all that. I'm going to start off with obligation. Now, depends who you are. Depends on your upbringing. Before I even go on with the obligation, a lot of my clips I always talk about upbringing, right? A lot of stuff that you feel about yourself and the things that you feed in your head, for example, a lot of stuff is being influenced from your upbringing, right? Because your parents, for example, you see, they're passing on different paradigms that they observe, okay, growing up or through life, right? So they're passing it on to you, like anything else in life. Everything else in life is a suggestion. It's suggested to you. So what it is that, and it depends who you are, okay? What it is that you accept these certain things, right? One of the most common things that you hear a lot of people talk about when they're not feeling so great about their upbringing, and they start spewing things out of their mouth in their adult life and stuff like that, they'll start saying things like very critical of yourself. You're very critical, right? You're very critical. You think you're a loser. You think you're this and that, right? And sometimes you have to go deep. You have to go deep into why certain people feel a certain way about themselves. And then you have a nice conversation with that person, right? The wind up is that you start to get on to the root of it, okay? A lot to do with what information or what you got from upbringing, okay? A lot of things you get from your upbringing is what? Life is difficult. It could range from that. It could range from being racist. You could be prejudiced against people. You could feel a certain way about men. You could feel a certain way about women. A lot of stuff starts from home. A lot of things. You go to school, right? You get this thing about why kids bully other kids, right? That's a paradigm, the idea of bullying. Well, we break it down like this. This is a classic situation. The reason why a kid is bullying another kid, okay, is because, see, at home, he's being picked on or being abused by somebody like what? Either his mother, either his father, or either his older sibling. Whatever the case is, yeah. So what happened is that the kid that's labeled as a bully, he's going to channel his aggressive energy into other kids. It's not really so much the kid that is incorporated. See, the thing is that a lot of stuff, a lot of ideas formulate at the house, okay? All types of stuff. You see, we take it in, right? And then we carry out these ideas, right? So that's why, for example, you have a kid, he's bullying other kids because he's being abused at home. A good number of you know that. I don't need to be a certified psychiatrist, a child psychiatrist to know this. A good number of you know this, okay? I will say this very briefly about my background. You see, me growing up in the beginning of my journey on this planet, I've been abused. Yes, I had a lot of thoughts of retaliating, and I could have done a lot of things. I could have, like, for example, I could have taken his life. I had an older sibling. I could have taken him out. I could have broke his legs while he's sleeping. I had a lot of opportunities, and you know what stopped me? What stopped me is consciousness. I had many opportunities to retaliate. It's just right there. It's amazing that I didn't do it. But you see, looking back at it now, I didn't come to this world to hurt people physically. You know, I'm always grateful that I have my higher self, which is consciousness within me, looking out for me. Even though I have been through certain experiences, okay? It's difficult to say this right now on the clip. I'm going to express more details about this in my book the best I can. But, yeah, you know, now the reason why he did something to me, because it's taken a lot for me to say to keep in mind, is because, you see, my father, okay, was abusive to him. See, we had two different fathers. His father passed away when he was a kid, okay? So he didn't like my father, okay? My father done some stuff which he expressed, and at the same time, okay, he was jealous of me because my mother gave me a little bit more affection than somewhat. Now, during that time, I was trying to figure out how I got to this world. Okay, I was going through different conflict emotions myself. I had, feeling very conflicted, having a feeling, a very strong feeling that I came from a world that's so opposite of this life. I saw a lot of the negative energy in this world, and I said to myself, what is that? You know, and I see certain things, and, you know, and I was like, you know, it's like the rage and anger and all the yelling, all that stuff. I said to myself, what is that? That's how I felt inside when I started to experience these emotions in this dimension. So yeah, I was going through different things in my earlier times in this world. So yeah, I've been through child abuse. I understood why. I'm not going to sit here and say to anybody to give people an excuse to do something to somebody. No, there's no reason for anybody to touch anybody. I don't care, okay? Nor I'm going to tell everybody, yes, be a punching bag. Get all the kind of abuse you get. No. See, I'm not a biblical person. You know, like kind of like someone punch you in the face and you turn the other cheek. No, I'm not. So if I'm letting you down by you hearing this, well, you can continue listening to what I have to say. And if you're still here, great. I'm going to move on. Now, I did mention this on my Human Journal Part 15. I don't want to go too far off the topic in this chapter, but I did mention I recommend Aikido. Aikido. It's an art. I like it. I've been observing this art or this style, for example, for a while. I expressed to you that Aikido what my take on it, and from seeing it in class and stuff, I used to check out I used to go to the class and all that, and just check out how they, just watching the students and teachers, how they, how they learn from each other. What it is, Aikido to me is, it's not like Kung Fu or kickboxing, doing the kicks and all that stuff and all that. The big thing I appreciate about Aikido is that when an aggressive energy comes at you, all you're doing is that you're placing the aggressive energy somewhere else, okay? So yeah, this is going to be a little tough maybe that you might hear. Let's say you have an older sibling, right? You have an older sibling, the bully, right? He's just bullying you around. I will tell anybody straight up, if you have somebody, no matter who it is, that comes at you, okay, an aggressive energy, all you're doing is placing the energy somewhere else. So, for example, your older brother, for example, okay, if he's coming at you, you just put him down the floor. I'm not going to tell everybody, to hurt somebody to a point of, severity. No. All you're doing is placing the energy somewhere else. You're putting the aggressive energy on the floor until the person stops and the person turns around. Yes. So that applies to for example, that applies to your big brother. Now, you're free to interpret it any way, or how I express this, you can interpret it any way you want. You are freedom. Okay, I'm not going to hold back, okay, about how I feel about different things. Now, to go back about me, so yeah, I just don't want to talk so much about my background, okay, just giving you a little preview, because I'm going to talk about a lot more of that in my book, okay? Yes, I will be filming my own movie, so you're going to start to see a lot more things visually about my life on this world, for example, okay? And not just this world, but other dimensions. Anyway, so to go on with this chapter. So yeah, it's like, you got a lot of that stuff, like why there's domestic violence in the household and all that. The combinations of things. Now, we hold on to stuff, right? We hold on to things, right? Let's say, for example, the father. It's an example, everybody. The father, he has a very particular way. He's very upset, he's very serious, very militant. He's got all types of characters, right? People, the thing is, you see, when we decide to have a family, okay, you have certain ways about you, okay? This goes for the mother and father, okay? You have certain ways about you. So what you do between that and what you get from upbringing, you bring it into your family, okay? And you see, the thing is, one of the problems, or the situation that people wondering, like, why does the problems in the household and all that, like people are saying that their house is crazy, like whatever, and it wide ranges from a lot of things. Okay, it wide ranges from a lot of things. It's like, you got parents, not everybody, but yeah, parents have different traditions or different ways that you have. You're set in ways and stuff like that. So what happened is that we transfer that. We hold on to certain ideas, and then we take it to your family. And then, for example, you have a particular idea how you're going to raise your kid, or what your kids, you have an ideal lifestyle for your kid. Like, for example, a good number of parents will say, my kid's going to go to college, or my kid's going to do this profession or that profession, or maybe be a basketball player, or whatever, or maybe join the military, because I want my son or daughter to be like me. So you got that too into play. And one of the situations I've observed is that, a lot of kids growing up, they feel pressured. They feel pressured because, their parents keep pressing them on. Like, go to college, or do this type of job, do that, do this. And, a lot of kids, and now it depends on the individual now, okay? It depends on the daughter or son. They get pressured that, yeah, I got to do it. Some kids find themselves doing certain things that they don't want to do. It's because the parents keep pressing on. Just keep pressing and pressing on. And that's what happened. That's how it works. So yeah, the thing is that you have to really, and this is the thing with the parents, my best thing I could say, advice, is that the parents, and no matter what culture you're from, the parents, okay, it's best the parents, the mother and father, for example, to be advisors. That's it, okay? You just advise your kid, okay? Regardless if your son or daughter wants to do something and you think that it's so against what you've been brought up and all that stuff, all right? You got to really let go, right? And really, it's not really about you in a sense. It's about what your son or daughter wants to do, okay? And remember I was telling you earlier about fear. That fear plays a major factor in a lot of families. So what happened is that, see, when mommy and daddy, when they start pressing on to their kid about, oh, you gotta go to college, and if you don't go to college, what's gonna happen to you? So you will put fear. Okay, there's a lot of things that parents see, a lot of parents find themselves banging themselves in the head. It's just a saying. That, man, it's like, why my kid doesn't listen to me? Like, why my kid don't want to go to college and all that? Because you see, the thing is, it's not really about what your son or daughter wants to do. You're caught up into what you want, okay? Because, for example, you have situations that fathers, some fathers and mothers, they talk about a story that, oh, when I was your age, I didn't have the opportunity, and now such and such opportunities available, and they'll start pressing on and suggesting to their kids, like, oh, I think you should do that. And it's really because about you. Because the mother and father at the time, you see, they're not following their highest joy, okay, by choice. They'll come up with excuses from their life experience, okay? So they didn't align themselves with the opportunities the time that they were growing up. So now, again, let me go back again. So you would suggest your son or daughter to do the things that you wanted to do. Now, this doesn't apply to every household, but, it goes, see, things are breaking up in such a way that I don't feel like a lot of people see those things. There's a pattern with this, for example, either it could be a professional job, it could be a sport, okay? For example, you got some fathers are gun-ho about playing football. So you formulated this football athlete in your head because you wanted to always be a football player, but because of the story of your situation that either you didn't get the cut or you didn't play fully, so you expect your son, for example, to do that. Now, if your son don't do it, then you start to feel a certain way about your son. But the meat of that situation is because the father is getting his own ego caught. He's getting caught into his own ego, okay? And at the same time, you see, he's not really giving himself, okay? It's about the father, for example, in this situation, that what do you really want to do? You're good in coming up with excuses of not following your highest joy and all that, but then you try to have people to mirror the desires that you want. So I feel that a lot of the parents, especially those that are so gun-ho about this particular profession, or it could be from dad or in the military, maybe there's some household that very, very pride. They take huge pride in joining the military. So you expect that thing to constantly run, right? Your great-great-grandfather went to the military. My grandfather went to the military. I went to the military. My son and daughter need to join the military. No, your son and daughter don't have to join the military. So it's the pressing on issue mixed with obligation. So a lot of people feel like, again, the son and daughter, they're doing certain things, right? And again, it all falls down what the person wants. Now, if the person, for example, if your kid wants to join the military, for example, if that's what they really, really want to do, okay, then that's their choice. But if you're doing something Okay, I'm talking about the kids now. If you're doing something, okay, make sure that you're doing it because you want to do it, not because your parents keep pressing on to you for years about, oh, you should do this and do that. No, you do what you want to do. Okay, if it's college, okay, if it's the military, okay, even religion. Yes, religion is another big thing when it comes to family structure. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I've seen uh, other cultures, they're a little bit more, how I say it, a little bit more heavily suggested. Okay, I used to analyze this. I used to hear from different sources. Like, for example, let's say a family in the Middle East. Okay, there's a culture thing going, and then become a Muslim. As an example. Okay, same thing for Christians, but let's just say about the Middle East. It's this tradition that you have to constantly go by. You are part of a culture, and not everybody in the Middle East is Muslim, by the way. But I'm just saying that certain paradigms that's set in the household, especially depends on that culture, for example, yeah, it is heavily suggested. Because the reason why it's heavily suggested is because your parents, it's been bombarded with the heavy suggestion from their parents, and not just their parents, but the culture, the environment, you know. The environment suggests things really deep. So yeah, it's not just the Middle East. It's here in America and other parts of the world. You know, um, but a lot of people don't realize that, you know, just because you live in a particular culture, and just because you live with your family, that your family's gun ho on a particular thing, that doesn't mean that you have to take on a suggested idea. If you do take on a suggested idea, that's your choice. Well, I want to say this. Anybody takes on a suggested idea, I just want to say this. You are all power to get out of that suggested idea and do something different. There's no one really has any power over you. Now, I want to do a follow-up to say this. The thing with family situation, okay, is that you have obligation, you have fear, okay? You have fear. You have this is another strategy a lot of parents do, and I've been observing this for a very, very long time. It even mirrors on sitcom shows, on family sitcom shows. This approach, you tell your kid, you have an argument, right? You and your kids don't get along, right? Your kid want to do something. Your kid wanted to do something that they want to do, but there's a conflict. So the classic thing is you do tell your kid is, you living under my roof. This is my house. I pay the bills. Okay. As long as you live under my roof, you would do exactly what I say. And a lot of parents lay down the law. It's the thing with humanity. We feel that you have to lay the law down in terms of what? In terms of having respect. When you use that with age and religion in combination with other stuff. So you try to lay down a law with your kids. And not only that, a lot of parents got this thing about getting a belt or smack your kid around. Because you was brought up in a certain way from your father and mother, and your father and mother, okay, see, they've been through that too, so you pass that cycle, okay, and then you do it to your kid. You see the cycles. The thing with family, it's like so many cycles that constantly, it just continues. But you see, cycles, or let's say habits, could be broken. You are capable of breaking habits. Um, so yeah, you got that. You got, physical. You got that. Get a belt, all that, and you figured that by you doing that, you feel like you're just, this is the way to be. My father, my mother did it. I'm going to do it. Okay. What you're doing is that chances are you're not going to have a very healthy relationship with your kid. Now, it depends on the individual. Some some daughters and sons, you know, they don't mind. They take pride into that. So they figure that's just life. But they're going to pass it on to their kids. But it doesn't apply to everybody, you know. Like I was telling you early, excuse me, parents, it's best that parents, no matter what cultures, be advisors. Acknowledge that you are fearless, okay? Whatever decision that your child is going to do, it's their decision. I'm going to get on to the kid side. I want to talk about the son and daughter. I know I'm talking a lot about the parents, but yeah, I just wanted to be advisors. You know, acknowledge that you are fearless. You know, anything that your child would do, okay, regardless if it's bad, regardless if it's crazy in your eyes, okay, you're gonna have to trust. You're gonna have to really trust and be fearless. You are fearless. This is something. It's a different take. This is a different level. This is a different level how to go about things spiritually. But you remember I always tell you my other parts with humanity. It's the physical and mental. Okay, you rely on your physical eyes, right, and you rely on your head. Your head is going to give you a lot of logical explanation why certain things can't be done this way because it doesn't make no sense. So you're going to press on. So you will constantly be very traditional and a way of going about life. Okay, so for example, if your kid will go to college, you are afraid because they're not going to get the so-called proper education, right? And or if they don't want to land that good old American dream or that good old American desk job, okay, and then get that little tiny 401k check or whatever when they retire and all that, maybe after, who knows, at the age of 80. But if you want to press on your kid to work in a corporate job, you know, that's a choice, you know. You know, it's very important that people have mutual respect for one another, no matter what relationship you have, okay? So I wanted to finish off this part. Yeah, definitely be advisors, you know, express, inspire your kid that, you know, and life is full of choices, you know, and it takes courage, everyone. Yeah, your kid will tell you things like, "Oh, I want to be a rock star," and you're a very structural person, okay? You work a corporate job, okay? And you're saying to yourself, "What the heck you want to be a rock star? What the hell is that?" But that's what your kid want to do. You see, you could advise, for example, and that's it. Strange about people. It's a lot of households go by this age. Not all. You go by this stupid legal stuff that we create this law about 18, you're an adult. It's so stupid. This whole structure that we created is so crazy. But it's an experience. So you tell your kid, I'm going to take care of you until you're 18, you're out. There's cases like that too. It's just strange. It's like, you know what that smells like to me? Or I could better yet, you know what that hears to me? What that hears is obligation. You're obligated to take care of your kid at a certain age, and then you tell them, out you go. But remember I told you in my marriage clip, there's no love when it comes to obligation. Okay, so if you're going to go that route, okay, if this applies to you, then I'm talking to you. If you're going to put obligation, you don't love your kid. The same goes for the kid. If the son and daughter is acting on their behalf out of obligation because even though their parents suggested, okay, you don't love your parents because you're going by doing certain things because you have to. Oh, I have to do it because it's the right way. No. How do you feel in your heart? Do you want to do this? Okay, do you want to do this? Or do you go about it, oh, I feel obligated, I have to do this. So it just goes on both sides now. Okay? So yeah, you got obligation, you got fear. Okay? Yeah, it's just that it's amazing, and these stupid traditions. And then you got religion also. You press your kid to become, to be or stay in a certain religion. Okay, let's say you have a household. Okay? You have a household, Christians. Okay? Okay, you got, this is a little humorous joke, the Flanders from The Simpsons. Okay? You got the household's Christian, but you have one child. Okay, your child. Let's just say your favorite child. He comes to you and say, hey, Dad, I don't really believe in this Jesus stuff. I want to be an atheist. Or Betty, I just don't really want to observe any of these religions. And that's kind of like shock the system in the house. What? You're not going to be a Christian? No, I don't. And then that's why a lot of parents lay down the law and various different reasons. Some of you would go old school. You would get the belt. You would do this, all kinds of stuff. The thing with humanity, the reason why there's so much conflicts around the world and the reason why people rebel is because when you try to control people, I don't care who it is, you are going to have people rebel. Rebel in such a way that you're aligning yourself up with experience with another person that you're not going to like. I guarantee it. I could wide range from parents. I could wide range from politics. I could wide range from law enforcement. Do you know why cops go through certain things? It's because you try to control people. I know, it sounds weird. Like, wait a minute. Let's just put aside the criminal activity. When you have an idea to try to control people, you are setting yourself up with a situation that you're not going to like. No matter how hard, everybody, this is the thing with humanity, and I know all this is an experience, and I know humanity is a transitional state. When you realize the power of all, or the truth of life, when you all decide to be connected spiritually and let go of certain ideas that's not going to bridge a relationship, for example, or the world, when you let go and be open and be fearless, because you are fearless, regardless of what decisions you make, okay, you decide to be afraid by choice. Truth is that, see, consciousness is fearless. You are all fearless. But we play the game to be fearless. That's the thing. It's a choice. So, yeah, no matter how hard you try to keep things in order, okay, you're going to have rebellion. You're going to have people to rebel against you. That's the truth, everyone. I know it's hard to hear. You expect that you want to keep things in order and things are going to be okay, but then every now and then or a good number of times, people are not going to really like it. When you try to lay the law down on anybody, okay, I'll get back to the parents in a second. You're not building a relationship. When you try to make a fortress in your own home, a damn fortress, there's no love there. There's no trust. You're holding on to stuff from the past, and you want to lay down a law. Fear. You get fear involved. Yeah, you got those things. Yeah, we do this a lot. Oh, yeah. And you wonder in your head, when you lean on your head, everyone, you're saying to yourself, man, why are these problems still happening? And you can't see past that, because the reason why you don't see past these things, why there's conflicts, is because you're leaning on your head. But when you go through in a spiritual way, spiritually, that, oh, okay, I understand why this is happening. And then you see, you are aware of it, why things are happening the way they are. Then you approach things differently. Okay? I want to wrap this up real quick. Competition. When you have competition in a family, you're going to have strife in different ways. Okay? You see, there's no limit to how you supposed to care for somebody or love somebody. There's no limit. But you see, people, a good number of you, will set limits to how you love. And that's why there's competition. That's why you have siblings don't like each other. And then you treat your son, your older sibling, for example, or your older daughter, more than your younger sibling. Or let's say you have 3 kids and you get, or 4 kids, or let's say 3. The middle one. Why the middle one always gets picked on? You ever ask yourself that? It's because of paradigms.